There was the Chad from South Africa.
Yeah.
And then a girl who had a CrossFit in Frankfurt at one point. I don't remember her name. And the new liaison for Germany, Mac McLean? Or Mac
Oh
McLean?
yeah, the thin bearded guy.
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
That was a cool guy.
Yes,
right?
he was very nice.
Yeah,
Who was that?
Yeah, I don't know. He's living somewhere in Germany.
Yeah.
And he goes there from now and then for the level 1, I think, or something.
Yeah, and now he's the liaison. I saw in the
Yeah.
CrossFit.com that he's
Okay.
the one for headquarter.
Oh,
And
yeah.
also, I think he just started his own box.
Okay.
But he said he very small and
Okay.
he was looking for the community before opening
Yeah.
his box. And
I thought he was a cool guy.
very nice.
If you see him, you wouldn't say he's like a CrossFitter. But then he still moves well.
Yes.
And he knows a lot, so
Yeah.
it was kind of funny, yeah.
And he has a finger missing.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he has a finger missing. Yeah.
Yes.
Another Kevin.
Yes. It's true. But it doesn't stop him of anything, eh?
I think CrossFit posted a picture of him when he was at. Wasn't he at the?
Yeah, he did a
HQ?
podcast.
Right.
With Savan.
Oh, really?
Yes. I think it was
Really?
yeah
Which
last
one?
week or
When?
the
They
week,
all did.
like very recently.
The liaisons.
Yeah, I think they had like a special meeting and they were all
Marcus
there.
Mac McLean. Yeah,
Exactly.
Oh, that's why I didn't, because I haven't listened to it yet.
Okay.
Okay. Bonjour.
Bonjour. Oh yeah, Mac. That's him.
Yes.
S.
Awesome. I'm gonna listen to that then.
Yeah.
He's very interesting.
C'est à la télé maintenant. Fais gaffe.
We're getting more fit aid.
Oh yeah, cool.
Yeah,
Cool.
it's
I'm gonna
very
listen to that one.
interesting. Like he said his story about he was in the army for 20 years.
Yeah.
So it's like and in Afghanistan and everything.
Okay.
If my memory is good, and it's quite impressive. Very interesting.
Well, I found
story.
him and Drake actually quite impressive from as guys and as how they taught the whole level 1.
Oh yeah.
It's really interesting and cool. But you can see that they're, especially for Drake, you can see he's a military
Oh, yes.
American guy. It's actually quite funny story. When we were there, he actually ripped his biceps completely off just when we arrived. He was training just before we started. And for the whole weekend, he was actually doing the level 1 seminar with his arm bent all the time. And sometimes he forgot, so he straightened it and he was like, whoa, shit. So yeah, I thought like, man, go to the hospital. Yeah, I'll go to the hospital on Sunday. Sure.
You know him, eh? Because he's in charge of the regionals also. That's what he was telling
really?
me when we were there.
Yeah, he's the competition director.
Okay.
So, well, him and one other guy are sharing the role.
Okay.
So he basically handles everything I don't handle.
Okay.
Well, I mean, they focus more on the athletes and the competitions itself.
Okay.
That's their role, and I'm kind of everything outside the ropes. But yeah, there's a lot of communication between the two of us
Yeah.
because as big picture stuff, we need to be on the same page.
Yeah.
And then you have one more director. But yeah, he's a good guy. He's also doing the 24-hour challenge that I did.
With the ski
Oh,
and
the skier,
bike.
yeah,
And,
okay,
oh,
cool.
yeah, okay.
So he decided to do that on, I think, just in a few days. Yeah, it's the 25th, so the 28th of April.
Okay.
He's gonna be doing that.
But is that an official thing or just you guys invented it?
Well, we invented it, and then it became an official.
Okay.
That's good.
Trendsetter.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. No, it's
I'm not gonna follow that one.
never say never.
You never say no. That's
true.
No, but it actually became more official than I expected because Concept 2, so it's all Concept 2 devices, you know,
Okay.
the ski, the row, the bike. And they recognized it, and apparently it's the Concept 2 Ironman now. That's what they call it.
Oh.
Yeah. So you gotta complete this task under 24 hours, and then, yeah.
Cool.
So we'll see. Maybe a few other people will give it a go. Yeah.
Nice. How does the concept bike, how does that feel like? Normal biking? Or assault bike?
No. It's
biking.
not like the assault bike. It's closer to a normal racer, but it has the erg like the rower and the ski.
Yeah.
So, but it's like constant effort. There's no drift. You know, you cannot like if you go fast and you just ghost ride it. You cannot do that. It's like there's always tension.
Okay.
But it can be like if you put the damper on low, it's not that.
Okay.
It's not like you're always climbing a hill or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
It's more like if you would be like on a flat road, kind of.
Yeah, I mean it depends on the damper. Just like when you're rowing.
Okay.
You know, if you put damper 10 on a rower, everything is difficult.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a nice one. I think it's good to have. We're definitely going to see a lot of it in competition, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Chantal,
Yes.
never say never, right?
Never say never. Lord Jesus. It's like the first time I did a half marathon, I never thought, because I've never been a runner. And when we moved to Cayman, there's an actual marathon every year, and it's either half marathon or a full marathon or a team thing for a person. And I said, that's going to be my new thing, and I did it.
Yeah,
and at the
that's
end
cool.
I said, never again.
But you did it.
I did it.
That's
I
an
did
achievement.
it. Yeah, and it was
sure.
like, phew. But running is really not my thing.
No.
I found it so long. You know, me, I like action and talking and moving and looking, and this is like you're going like this. It's I did it.
That's good.
Yeah.
Well, you've always been active.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like most of my life.
Yeah.
Like in the, with children, at one point we kind of
Yeah.
slowed down a little bit. It was
Yeah.
more like, and we were surrounded with a lot of younger people with no kids. So we kind of party, and
Right.
we did a little bit less of exercise, but most of my life I was active. Yes, I could say.
And like what, when you say active, what?
Young was a lot of swimming. I was a swimmer, and then water polo, the normal step, when you get bored of doing like just the lane thing, you go to water polo.
Yeah.
I tried diving, but I'm afraid of heights, so it didn't work.
Okay.
I was
Doesn't
like,
work
no,
well together.
that's not.
But this is in Canada, right?
Yes, when I was, I'm talking between probably 5 to 18-ish. Yeah, volleyball too. Even if I'm very small, believe it or not, I was very good at volleyball.
But what was when you say a lot of swimming? What was the volume when you were in your peak?
Oh, I was training 6 days a week, and it was always evening because I'm born and raised in Montreal.
Okay.
And the facility where I had to go, I had to take the city bus, and it was taking too much time to go to school. So some people were training before, I was not able to. So I was training at night. It was like 2-3 hours every evening, and sometimes Saturdays, but I was playing ice hockey also.
Of course, everyone plays ice hockey. What about you? What was it?
For me, it was like on my peak time. I was training 11 times a week actually. Doesn't sound logical, but that was like 2 times we trained in the morning and in the evening. So the morning before going to school, and combined with all the weightlifting and not weightlifting, more like strength training.
Yeah. How old were you?
I was 16, 17 years old.
Okay.
And I actually stopped because I didn't get the time by 300ths of a second in 100-meter freestyle to get to the games of the small states.
Nation.
Okay.
Small nation.
And so I was really pissed that they didn't take me, and I stopped.
Like there.
Because we could have gotten a bronze medal at the games themselves with the time we swam.
Oh,
so
yeah.
it was actually in a relay actually.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was really pissed because I trained like a moron for a year, and then I was like, fuck it.
It's quite, it could be.
But the cool thing actually about swimming is that you never lose it. You never lose the feeling for it. You just lose the strength and the endurance to keep on doing it for a long distance.
Yes.
But that's what's cool. So every time I jump into the water, it's like,
It's
whoa.
like a bicycle.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Yeah, that's the good thing. That's
then if
true.
you don't ride the bicycle until you're 25, then you're just fucked.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Oh no! I mean, my technique is. I mean, swimming wise,
Okay, I see what you mean. Sorry.
Yeah, like. Yeah. Well, in Iceland it's mandatory from just like here. I think that in schools from 6 years and on, you do swimming lessons, like once a week or something.
Yeah, same here.
In school. But yeah, for some reason I just never was never a good swimmer. I've swam plenty. I probably should be better at swimming than I am, because I can pick up most things really easily.
Yes.
And swimming is one of those things where I just
it's completely different.
just unable. Yeah, but at the same time, like, I can see how you can become a good swimmer. Like, you're just, the more you relax in the water, you have the water work with you and all this stuff. It's just not there. I mean, I'm not a total like you know
but
what
to
I mean?
be honest, as a kid, you don't think like that.
No.
You just swim.
No,
You do
of
not
course.
think like, I'm
Yeah,
gonna
of
get
course.
in the water.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I guess it's like dribbling a ball if you don't play soccer as a kid.
Yeah,
It's different, you know.
I mean, some children have it easier to actually play with balls
Yeah.
than okay.
Sounds weird, but
It does sound weird.
No,
I heard it myself, but
there's definitely a natural talent. I don't know if you saw it with Vincent, like your son, but like with Victor, my son, I can see like there are some things that I just know he's more naturally gifted
yeah.
than in other areas. Like, for instance, like he's better at throwing naturally than kicking.
Okay.
So like when he throws something, it's like, wow, this kid can throw. But when he kicks, it's like, it's a normal kick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
So I
nothing
can just see that he's
special.
naturally gifted there.
Yeah.
Just always
Yeah.
been like that.
Me was very gifted at swimming, but
Yeah.
he, like at one point, you know, when they do a lot of sports, you know, when they are between 8 and 10, they do like so many things.
yeah, they want to
and
try
then
stuff.
you get to a certain level and the coach are like, okay, now you need to start thinking
Decide,
of
yeah.
choosing something.
Yeah.
And you decide to play football.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, there as a parent, that's the question that you should ask yourself as a parent at that moment. Would you want to push your child in what he's good at, or do you want to give him the freedom to do what he likes? You
We
know?
really let him choose.
Yeah, and that's
it
a
was
big thing.
difficult because me, like what I really don't like about team sports is like, it's, you know, it could be anybody's fault if you lose
Yeah.
or, you know, if you don't achieve a certain level or,
Yeah.
but like when it's individual, the only person you can beat is
Is you.
yourself,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So for me, I was seeing it as like, oh my God, you should do swimming because he's going to train very hard. And then if he doesn't, he won't perform. But,
Yeah.
and it's the opposite. He chooses a team sport. But he played for a long time. And at
Yeah.
least he was doing something. That's the thing now with children.
Yeah.
Not here in Europe, but like, you know, he was raised in the North American way. And
Yeah.
like, even if you hear the kids doing sports at school, it's not the case. Like, they don't, you know, go 100%
No, of
into
course not.
sports. So
Yeah.
we were very happy that he was doing something.
How
keeping him
old, how
busy.
old is Vincent now?
He turned 19 in January.
Yeah.
Yes.
He just went away
Big
to
man.
school.
Yes,
Well, a year
first
ago
year.
maybe. Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's almost over already.
college. Yeah.
He has 3 weeks left and he's coming back.
Nice.
So, yeah, very good.
That's good. No, but it is an interesting topic to discuss about, like, you as a parent
Oh, yes.
deciding for your kid, like, where to, like, what sport to put him in. What,
Yes.
You know, all this stuff. Like, now Victor is 8 and he's pretty athletic. And it's tricky. You don't want to, like, I'm a pretty relaxed person in general. But at the same time, I want him to, you know, to commit to something and just stick to it. And,
Yes.
but at the same time, have fun with it, you know?
Yeah.
Like gymnastics, he does gymnastics for, you know, like, yeah, 8 hours a week. And sometimes he is really happy with it and sometimes he doesn't want to go.
Well, that's life, right?
Yeah, it's part
Yeah.
of it. And then
Yeah.
it's like the point of, like, how far do you want to push?
Yeah.
You know, do you want to...
It's a
Yeah.
thin red line actually on when do you stop pushing and when are you giving too much freedom? You know.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. I totally
It
agree.
is difficult.
Because children are gonna stop everything to try something new.
Yeah.
So at some point, you as a parent have to still guide them and stay on the path.
And also the friends, you know,
Yes.
like there's so
Yeah.
many
Yes.
aspects that
Yeah,
can
yeah.
change their view
Yeah.
of something or...
And then puberty kicks in.
Oh my gosh, it's like so... Trust me.
We're both looking forward for that, right?
Yeah, oh, you gotta have fun, guys. No, it's not too hard. Like Vincent was easy. Seriously, we've been very lucky. I think, but sports,
Yeah.
I think, help a lot
Yeah.
to
sure.
make the kids going through situations.
Yeah.
For us, I think we've always said that. Like you said, commitment was very important. If he was starting something, even if in the middle of it
Yeah.
he was started, I'm sorry, but you finish
Yeah.
what you've started, and then at the end you can choose if
Yeah.
you continue or not. So that's very important. But then to find a little line as a parent, not to push too much. I think sometimes I don't think we did push too much, but I think we got so involved in it that you kind of maybe it was too much or not enough, you know? Like when they stopped, you feel like almost, what did I do? When he decided to stop football, we were like shocked. My husband and I we were like, oh my God. It's recent. Yeah. It's like at the beginning of this year. He said, that's it. No more football.
Because you were also invested in it.
We were like 100%.
And that's also a dangerous line to play because you can become over-invested as a parent.
Yeah, definitely.
Or under-invested.
Yeah. From my experience, I mean, I had a sort of parents, we were pushed a lot. We were pushed, and especially in the beginning, the younger years, swimming was not something I liked. I had to do it. And I did it because I had to do it. And it's just around 15, 16 years old when I started to get into puberty that I became fun and competitive for me. So I just liked it for 2-3 years. And I think that's probably with the reason why I actually stopped doing sports completely. Yeah. Because I was so oversaturated with sports, doing something I don't really like. Yeah. And then when I liked it, I said like, yeah, no, you're not going because, well, you trained a lot, but fuck you. And then I was just like, for years I didn't do any sports, and I think that the reason might be to have been pushed too much in one direction, and I think it was important to push me because I would have stopped quickly stuff. Yeah. But pushing too long, too hard might be negative in the end. That's my experience.
I think one of the things he said, I'm sure there's many other things that they don't say to their parents, but I think one of the things he said, he was, first of all, he wanted to live without being, without being in football. It was like he said, I don't even remember when I didn't play football because he started when he was 5. Yeah. Yeah. And when you get to a certain point, it's like we were counting, and it's like between 20 to 25 hours a week that you practice games, time to go there and everything. So he said, it takes so much time in my life that I want to see how it is without football. Yeah. And it was like, okay, it makes sense. And also, different things, like he played with different teams, and sometimes it could be something a coach say at one point I really realized as a parent how coaches could make
a
make or break
difference. It makes and I think there's a lot of coaches that don't realize the impact they have on kids, like even teenagers, like every age level. And I'm sure probably like professional players the same thing, like what a person can say make a whole difference. And it's like, absolutely. I think for him, it was like all those things. And also starting university, again, he would have been like a new team and everything. So I think a little bit of everything. But he said, I want to live without football. And when he came at Christmas, I said, how do you like it without football? I said, do you miss the camaraderie? Like, how do you say that?
Camaraderie,
yeah. Or you miss the sport? He said, I miss the sport. So he played a little bit like here and there, but just for fun, you know. But he trains a lot, so he does bodybuilding now. It's his new thing.
Bicep curls.
Yeah.
Why not? I mean,
everybody's got to go through that stage.
Yes, at some point. I think it's the impact of gaining muscle quickly suddenly that he realized the size exactly because like he's 19, so now it's like. Yeah.
He wants to be bigger than his dad.
Oh yes, that's his goal. Like he's actually measuring his bicep and ask
There's
my
more
husband.
people doing this apparently, yeah.
So get ready, guys.
That's good. That's good.
It's really fun. But at least he's busy. He likes it. He's like doing sport. He goes to the gym like 6 times a week. Oh, so wow. As a parent, it's an achievement that you say, okay. And he tried to cook for himself. Ooh. That's pretty impressive cool. For a 19-year-old.
He burned down the house, but that's okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, well, it's part. I mean, nutrition is part of doing bodybuilding. If you really want to do bodybuilding and shape your body as you want it to be, you have to think about nutrition.
Yeah, and he said he's not too bad at food preparation cool. But he says it's difficult because he's so tall. That to gain size, it takes a long time to show. Yeah. And he says he has to eat almost over 4,000 calories a day. Oh, wow. And he said it's very difficult.
Especially if you eat that with clean food.
That's what he said. He said it's very difficult to eat clean with 4,000 calorie a day.
Yeah, for sure.
So
Yeah, I've been there.
4,000 calorie a day. Can you imagine? I said I better go and shop for a cow and chickens, and before he comes in May, it's gonna be a very
That's good.
Should we start a
Special.
podcast?
Yeah, we can start the podcast.
good.
Yeah, I'm interested. So, you started CrossFit
Yeah.
here
Yes.
at Valence.
January 2016.
Yeah, and then at that point, how long had you been in Luxembourg?
Since 2014.
Yeah.
We moved July 2014 here. And funny enough, I have a friend who lives right there in Ham.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and she wasn't in Luxembourg at the time, so I lived in her apartment for 2 weeks.
Oh, okay.
And we walked here and we saw Valence, but like we knew CrossFit already.
Yeah.
Like since we've been watching the game since 2012. And
Oh really? Even before you did CrossFit?
yes, yeah, definitely.
Just as the fan of the sport.
As
or
a fan
liking,
of us,
Yeah.
you know, like other than Sports Channel in our
Yeah,
house,
yeah.
there's not many other things we watch.
Okay.
It's always been like that, even when I was young. And so I saw Valence and I was like to my husband, and I think it was a Sunday, we were peeking through the
Yeah.
window, and then we moved, we forgot and everything, and we've decided to give it a try. Like we were like everybody else, scared, because you see the games, you're like, there's no way on earth we can do that. In Cayman at one point, we did something with a guy who was doing jujitsu
Yeah.
and Krav Maga, and he was training us like very movement wise and everything, and we really liked it. So that's why we had that on the back of our head when we came here. We said we need to find something that we like and be different and everything. And so funny, if I'm gonna give you the whole story, I had an
go
uncle
ahead.
who had
Go ahead,
yeah.
cancer, and he's like my second father. And I saw him during the summer, and he was at the point, you know, like not doing anything because, you know, when you have throat cancer, you know, like the sad thing.
Yeah.
And I was sitting on his chair and doing nothing all day. And I said, you know, why are we afraid not to do CrossFit and to finish like this?
Yeah.
So I said to my husband at Christmas, I said, I don't know if you want to follow me, but that's it. I'm registering. I looked.
Yeah.
I saw there was like a class starting the 11th of January or something.
Yeah.
He said, okay, I'm with you. So we registered, and that's how we started CrossFit at Valence.
Awesome.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
cool.
I said, I don't want to die like this. Maybe I'll die like this, but I'm going to try not to.
And how far into it were you? Like, did you realize, like, oh, I think I might like this?
As soon as we did the...
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, we kind of knew.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's just that we were scared a little bit. Like, my husband did a lot of weightlifting when he was young.
Yeah.
Really passionate about it. So, but he stopped, like, because we didn't do any sports involving this. And he said, as soon as he took the barbell, he was like, oh, yes.
Yeah.
You know? we're
So
into it.
riding the bike, right?
Oh, yes, for him. But me, funny enough, like most of the people, especially women, it was like I did dumbbells and
Yeah,
kettlebells,
yeah.
but never. First time was
Barbell.
here, a barbell, and
Yeah.
I fell in love with it.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's why my gymnastic doesn't improve because I love the barbell too much.
Well, you guys definitely came in with a flying start compared to like never been doing CrossFit. You guys moved really well.
Yeah, I think like we were scared because like it's the unknown, and like you see a level that it's so extreme that you're like expecting to almost. I think it's the expectation of not being
Ready.
You're hoping that you're gonna do those things very
Yeah.
quickly,
Yeah.
and like by doing this, it kind of brought us back to say, okay, we can start. We have to start somewhere, and we can do it, and we really still, as of today, enjoy it a lot.
Well, I guess it's the same old story. People not afraid to start
Yeah.
because they think they first have to go to the local gym
Yeah.
and get in shape to start
Yes.
doing CrossFit, and
Yes.
that's not the question at all.
No, I
Actually,
think-
No.
No, but it is. They're trying. I mean, I think a lot of people are trying to change that image, and it's coming from the top down. Meaning,
Yeah.
like CrossFit HQ is really now pushing
Yes.
CrossFit Health instead of CrossFit Fitness. You know, or CrossFit as a sport. It's a health and fitness program for everyone. So if you look at their social media, if you look at their, you know, all their content now, it's more like health and
Health
fitness driven.
Yes.
Like, you know, the cure to diabetes and just all this stuff.
Yeah.
Instead of focusing on the sport. But I think the thing is the sport was also like an important piece of the puzzle to start with, to grab the attention,
Yes.
to create, you know, the role models, to create, you know what I mean, that almost iconic figures,
Yeah.
and then trickle down. But I think still, especially, you know, around this area, like Central Europe and Europe, and we're a little bit behind. You
Yeah.
know, if the top is,
Definitely.
you know, the west coast of the U.S. and something's happening there, it'll take like
Has to
2
spread.
years to spread. So I think a lot of boxes here and affiliates, and just kind of the mindset of people is, you know, it's a sport. Like who's
Yes.
going to regionals
Yeah.
this year,
Yes.
and who's, you know, doing this and that. When you know, I think now the core is people are realizing that it's more regarding just the general public, the
Yeah.
health and the fitness side of things.
It's a methodology and not a sport.
Yeah, it's but it's difficult. It's difficult to
Yeah.
make people understand because even myself, like even us, like Stefan at his office or me when I talk to people, as soon as you say CrossFit, they are like, "Oh my
Yeah.
God,
Yeah.
you're crazy!" Or
If they know what it is.
if they know what
Because
it is.
my
yes.
experience is when you go to physio or you go to a doctor or whatever, and they ask you if you're doing sports, and you say, "Yeah, I'm doing CrossFit." They're like, "What?"
Yeah.
They can hear fit, so they guess it's something in the gym,
in
but
sports.
they have no clue what it is.
Bodybuilding
So
Yeah.
I don't know if this is mainly just for Luxembourg, and that the CrossFit, as you say, will be behind in Europe, and Luxembourg might be even more behind in that sense. Because in the end, I mean, last year, for instance, I went on TV to promote the
Yeah.
Lux Fitness Challenge,
Yeah.
and I guess that's probably the first time actually on general media that you might have heard something about
Yeah.
CrossFit.
Yeah.
So CrossFit is more like something that goes from ear to mouth, and
Yeah.
that people speak about, and then more and more people get to know it, and
it's growing.
It's
a
growing.
lot.
Yes,
Absolutely.
definitely,
Yeah.
definitely.
And then you have
Definitely
like
agree.
countries like Iceland where everyone knows.
yeah, for sure. Well,
It's like crazy.
So it's like
if we had somebody winning the CrossFit Games here, everybody would know it too,
Maybe.
because Luxembourg is crazy in that part.
Yeah.
As soon as you have somebody who wins something, then everybody knows.
Yeah, it's the same.
for
And
sure.
even if you have a winner 4 years in a row, or not in a row, but
Yes.
two
Yeah.
winners winning twice.
Yeah,
that's,
yeah, yeah.
that's big.
Sure.
And then you have like
And winning lately, because
yeah,
it's getting more and more difficult.
Yeah.
So-
Definitely. There's
so
more
it's-
people
it's
doing
a big,
it.
It's a big part of it.
Yeah.
But speaking of CrossFit not being a sport and being a methodology and more about health and everything, how did you? Because you did level 1, right?
Yes.
You were talking about it before, but we weren't on air at that
Yeah.
point. At that point, so you did the level 1. You
In
said.
January.
So how do you respond to that, saying that CrossFit is not only just a sport, but there's more to it?
Oh yes.
Did the level 1 help you as a normal athlete? Not considering to actually get a coach, but did it give you more information about what
Yes.
CrossFit actually is?
Like, you know, I'm a personal trainer, and I wanted to. For me, it was like after 6 months, I said I need to learn more about this. You know, I want to know how they teach it and everything. And I had a conversation with Stefan, and I said, okay, I would like to do that. And for him, like, he had no interest. And then we started to look a little bit at CrossFit.com and like some podcasts and stuff. And they were always promoting that it's a lot of information that you get into the level 1, and you don't need to become a coach to do the CrossFit, the level 1. So Stefan said, oh, okay, maybe I'll do it with you. And then we decided that it was our gift for 2018. So that's why we did it in January. Instead of buying a Christmas gift, we said, let's do...
That's perfect.
It's and it was cool. It is cool to have your your partner doing something
agree.
like that, and that's true. We all have our partner doing it. I think it's such a cool thing, and we've learned. I don't think like they say, you don't need to become a coach to do the level 1. You're learning so much. It kind of brings you, of course, with when you do the how you call it at the beginning, the introduction.
Basic course.
You know, you cannot learn everything. You know, for you, it's to show the movements and how to be comfortable in a class. And but when you go there, you go so much deeper in everything, and especially nutrition.
Yes.
That it kind of, you have a light bulb, and it's kind of a saying, okay, this is where it starts. This is how, I I can deal with it. And even in the house, we've changed a little bit. Like even if we were already very healthy, sometimes I have conversation with people since years, and like I don't realize how in advance I was with a lot of people, you know, about food. But now it's like they told me another thing that I didn't have and I'm testing it right now, and I lost 10 pounds since January.
Oh wow, really?
It's like crazy.
Okay.
It's like about 4 kilograms.
Really?
And yeah,
What is that?
But for me, it was cutting the sugar.
Yeah.
I've never been a soda drinker, never been drinking juice either, but like, you know, Nutella and stuff like that. And it was a comfort food for me. You know, I really, really like sugar for comfort food. And I've decided that was it. And also for bread. Like in the house, my husband is a huge bread addict, like no joke. And now he only eats his sandwich at lunch. And like he finds it sometimes like he's looking on the counter, you didn't buy any bread? No. And for me, and I'm not starving and no crash anymore. I had a little bit of crash, you know, in the afternoon. I don't have that anymore.
Really?
Yeah. And I think it was the sugar.
Well, your body adapts quickly.
It's really crazy. And like that's a good thing. I was scared of being hungry. You know, I was the type of like you need to eat every 3 hours, and like I always had a bar or something.
Yeah.
You know, like I was trying to be very healthy, but it was still sugar.
Yeah.
You know, that I didn't realize until you look at it and you're like, oh, okay. Like yes, I do have a lot of sugar in my house, and just that it made a huge difference.
So did you cut it completely out, or just the the ones that are, the food products that are high on sugar?
You see, it was easy in a certain way because I didn't have that much in my life.
Yeah.
You know, I had every day on a regular basis, but like I said, already I've never drank soda, never drank juice.
Yeah.
So, you know, I can understand that someone that has his orange juice every morning, it could be a little bit harder.
Yeah.
But I didn't have that. So it was like, my husband is like cutting the sugar in his coffee. Me, I was already drinking black coffee.
Yeah.
So it was really like the bits and pieces here and there.
Just
like
fine tuning.
Yes.
Well, that's a huge success with it.
Yeah.
Losing 10 pounds, just tweaking.
Seriously,
like
in such a small amount of time.
Yeah.
And like not the marvelous thing is not being hungry. You know, like this is the scary part of everybody who wants to diet. You know, oh my God, I'm gonna starve. But it wasn't. You know, and I think everything is so much better. You know, I'm getting older. I'm 52.
Everybody does.
And you need to listen to your body more as you
true.
get older. And those things I think were actually negative for me.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that. So it's like the good part about, you know.
Well, I think, to be honest, if we can give out a message to the listeners, I mean, you said your husband, he stopped putting sugar in his coffee.
Yep.
And that's already a small but very big step.
Yep.
I did the same thing like a year or 2 years ago, more or less. And I think if you start calculating how much sugar you have in your coffee through a day and through a week and through a month, just to have a sugar in your coffee.
Yes.
So I'll just give you everybody the challenge actually.
Yes.
To, if you drink coffee with milk and sugar, stop doing that.
Yeah.
Because after just 1 week of going through this first black coffee, wow, shit, it's strong, you start to like it.
Yeah.
And my girlfriend actually did the same thing. That's actually several months ago. She just decided she could never drink her coffee without milk. So she decided not to put milk anymore, and now she likes coffee black.
Yeah.
So it's just about changing that habit, and it's a bad habit, and you can actually change it easily.
And your taste buds too.
Yeah.
Because for
Absolutely.
me, after eating my meal, I was always craving that sugar. You know, like it was just, I don't know, it was like something that I need to eat my sugar.
It's like
It's called
finish
dessert.
the meal with a sweet.
Yes.
Call the dessert.
It's called dessert. Yeah, that's true. And that, like, it's just that it does change. And now I can, and I've done that many years ago with salt. You know, I don't add. Like some people, when they come and eat at our house, I put it on the table because I said I don't put any salt when I cook. But I've been doing that for years, and my husband is used to it. And, you know, like Vincent probably never ate anything with salt added. So it's like...
I could learn from that.
Yeah.
I always
like
use salt.
it's just... And now when I eat something that is saltier, then like even like for me, it's like
crazy
times
salty.
10.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, like
Yeah.
a French fries at McDonald's for me, like
Yeah.
the salt is too much because
Yeah.
I'm so used not to eat any salt.
Yeah.
So I guess for the sugar, it's a little bit similar.
Yeah.
You need to change.
Yeah, we definitely use salt when we cook. What I don't understand is when a person, like, let's say you are either at a restaurant or someone else has cooked the meal and you're eating, and before you take your first bite, you
Put on pepper and salt.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
you don't even know if the person that was cooking like over salted it, and it might just making it.
It's
like,
so nice to hear because, like, sometimes I say that,
like,
and
how can you salt something? We don't
I felt I
know.
was the only one. You know what? You don't even try. You don't want to try what I've
unless
done.
these people are just used to
That's
to
what I'm
have
saying.
a
It's a
lot of
habit.
salt,
It's a
you know?
habit.
So they just go for it
Yeah.
Yeah.
immediately.
Yeah.
But what if the cook salted it like
Yeah, they're crazy.
like over
Then
salted
you're like,
it, and you
you
just
just learn by your
it's just a
mistakes.
habit.
Let's go.
you know, that's crazy.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah, but it's like I tried the new barbells here, bear bells.
yeah,
We have at claim they have no sugar or nearly no sugar and stuff like that, which it's true. But then you eat them and you're like, whoa, this is really, 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 really sweet. And you're like, how the hell can that be sweet without sugar? And then you have all these artificial sweeteners. So that's also like a big question, you know, like if you like these have like maltitol or something, or how it's called. And so apparently that's not so bad.
it has in 100 grams it has
2.9.
2.9
yeah.
grams of sugar.
But if you turn around, you see that there's artificial sweeteners in it. You know?
Yeah.
And that's also like the big question. Okay, they sell it for no sugar, and
Yep.
then you have other stuff in it which
Yeah.
is not natural, and then
Yeah.
that's another
What
issue.
I've tried to do, sometimes it's difficult, but like I try as much as possible not to eat anything in a package.
Yeah, but
I'm
it's
at
hard,
that,
right?
like, because like I said, I was already really aware of, you know, the cooking and like
Yeah.
eating well. So for me, it was like to sit down and look, okay, where could I improve now?
Yeah.
And it's to remove everything that is in a box.
That's good.
And
Like,
it's
eat real food.
yes.
Yeah.
So it does take a lot of time, a lot of, you know, prepare yourself on the Sunday and everything. But it, like, for us, it made a huge difference. Like, even like Stefan said, always, like, he's super, you know, he's working really, really, really hard and being super stressed. And he said, I'm glad to go to CrossFit almost every morning
Yeah.
and eat properly, because he said I would not be able to survive. He really says that way of eating,
Yeah.
because he brings his lunch every day,
Yeah.
like that I make.
Got
But
his
like,
packed lunch.
yeah, because
Yeah.
if not, he would not. Like,
Yeah.
he always see that he's like a construction worker with his lunchbox. But hey, like, if you want to eat healthy, you
Yeah.
don't have the choice.
He's
Yeah.
probably happy to have it.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you remember the typical phrase they repeat 100 times at the level 1 about food? What you should eat? Do you remember that?
It's meats, vegetables, nuts and seed,
Yeah.
little starch.
No.
The last word is no sugar.
No sugar,
Little
yeah.
starch, little fruit, less.
Yeah, little fruit, yeah.
A little bit, fruit, less starch, no sugar.
Do you remember the phrase? I never remember it.
Yeah.
You know what's in it, but I never remember, because they repeat it so often. You
Yes.
should actually get out and have it imprinted in your brain. But
Yeah.
nah,
Over
I
the
can't.
last 10 years, I've probably heard it like billions.
Yes,
But you still don't
probably.
remember how it gets really like
Yeah,
in
it's-
the order of words, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
But it's, if you cut it down to 3 words, it's like eat real food.
Yeah, eat real food.
And whatever that is for you, you know, if you stay away from meat, if you
Yeah,
eat
exactly.
meat, whatever,
Yeah.
just
I
eat
agree.
real food.
Just eat,
Yeah.
like, that's what I was saying to my sister-in-law. I was said, you have to stay to the closest original form it is.
Yes.
You know, a fruit is a fruit. It's not like if you juice it, then you're losing something. If you cook it, you lose something. So it's like to stay as close as possible at the original. And but like we said, you know, I was able to cut most of my sugar, but I understand for some people it's harder. Like my husband, like, still his little maple syrup here and there, but you know, it's
Which
difficult.
is fine, I guess.
It is. It
I mean,
is.
They say no sugar. I'm fine with that, but
Yeah.
I mean, if it helps to get better taste, or if
Yeah.
it just gives you some pleasure,
Yeah.
I mean, it's always better than to have maple syrup than putting Nutella on or
Yes.
whatever. You know?
Definitely.
So, yeah.
But it's like you need to find the right balance for you, and you need to test. And this is what I've tried since January to say, okay, where am I? What I have done so far in my life, where I want to go, what it looks like, and then you take decisions. But it does, I won't lie to you, it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of preparation, and you know, you cannot just say, okay, tonight I'm going to eat clean. It's like a plan, and to go shopping, and it's you need to be organized. Yeah. Especially if you work full time, if you have children, or like I've always tried to be organized, and you know, for us as a family, it was always important to eat breakfast and dinner together. And I think it's a good way to teach people, like your children, you know, to eat
without
properly.
a cell phone.
What? Without this?
cell
Oh
phone.
no, that was a no-no. That was a big no-no.
Of course, should be.
Like even today, like sometimes he brings it, and I'm looking at him, and for dinner at least, and like he eats so fast anyway. It's not long. It's not long without his phone.
No, I think that's something that is important to, you know, society is changing so fast that everyone is like with these devices, the phones, the computers, it's almost like we're always plugged in to the outer world, you know, you're always like, so just unplugging yourself is something we could do better at a lot of times, you know?
I think it should be like a day, like everywhere around the world, a Sunday or a Saturday, no internet.
Well, the movie Matrix makes more and more sense the further we go in time, right?
I know.
Because it's exactly that.
Yeah.
We're just so focused on everything. And I mean, even at home, Adeline and I, well, we have an infant now, a baby, but we're already starting to like, okay, let's stop having the smartphone next to us when we eat, because you're so easily distracted, and you're on your phone, and the thing is, it's not like you're playing on it or that you're doing some stupid thing on it. It's you always have an excuse to say like, yeah, it's something important. Yeah. If it's an email, if it's a message, or whatever it is, but just at least for lunch, dinner, and to eat together, just put it away and disconnect from the whole online world.
Yeah, it's definitely something I could do better at, and I Jason Khalipa, you know him? Yeah, I don't know if you've heard. He talks about, or used to talk about. He came up with this concept, AMRAP mentality. Have you heard about it?
No.
So, and it's about this, meaning like when you do an AMRAP, like in a workout, you know, let's say it's AMRAP 10 minutes, and you're doing wall balls and rowing and burpees, whatever. When you're in the AMRAP, you're not thinking about anything else.
No, that's true.
You are just, that's 10 minutes, and you're in the AMRAP. Focused for 10 minutes. You're doing wall balls, you know, rowing and burpees. And then you complete the AMRAP, and it's on to the next thing, or whatever the case might be. So he was saying, if we can, you know, use that mentality, the AMRAP mentality, in our life. So meaning, okay, let's say you're going to answer emails for AMRAP 30 minutes. That means for 30 minutes, you do nothing but answer emails.
That is so true.
And then you have your family, and so for that time, you use that time devoted completely to your family.
I think it's an excellent
So
idea.
it's like everything else is unplugged, so you don't allow, you know, the
anything
message or,
anything else to disturb
within
you
know reasonable but I think it's a great way to look at it, like and I've tried it a few times. I could definitely be better at it sometimes, like you forget and you know pick up your phone or whatever and you have a message or something, but it makes you more productive. And a lot of times you need less time if you just focus on one thing. And instead of doing 3 things shitty, you do one thing really well. And you know what I mean?
That's true.
So
it's an excellent suggestion. Like I'm going to apply it for sure. And it's really funny because I'm not, you know, my generation, we're not born with cell phone. And
we neither.
But you know, like me, I actually started to use it a lot, not that long ago. But I'm still addicted. I do the same. You know, like as soon as I come out of the car, I look at it.
It's because it's practical. That's the reason. It's something very, very practical in our everyday life. It's like when first you have your first car and you have your license, and you stop taking the bus and you start driving with your own car, you realize really quickly how addicted you are to a car.
Yeah.
You can't imagine yourself taking the bus anymore to go to work or go to school or whatever.
That's true.
So it actually takes something from you. It's a challenge to say like, no, I'm gonna take the bus because it's easy. I have the bus next door or whatever.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Yeah,
It's an
that's
addiction, and it's an addiction that's practical. So that's why we use it all the time. But I agree with what we say. It's actually, plus we have lives that are more and more stressful, and we add additional stress by constantly checking our emails, constantly checking, and sometimes we're even checking the phones without anything being on it. So it's just like an addiction, and a stressful addiction, and the fact of just like, as you say, or during dinner or when you eat, to not look at it and put it away, it's just another way to actually calm down and relax again and be mindful of when you are and that you are present.
My recommendation as a parent, of course, like, it's because I see often in a park or whatever, the parents are with their children and they are on their phone. And they're missing so many important minutes. It sounds like an old woman, but it's true. Like, people kind of forget how it's nice to see your children play, and or often they're gonna come and the parent is still looking or writing, or and they won't even pay attention to the child. So this is like, I think, double important, that when you're around your children, you bring them somewhere, do sports or whatever, that is important to put that aside, because my husband won't like me there, but like when Vincent was playing, I really didn't miss many games in his whole football career.
Any games?
Maybe one or two. And I was always saying to Stéphane, was like, I was like, yeah, but that game will never come back, you know? And he was making actually an effort. Of course, we had the environment too. It was easier in Cayman than it could be here in North America. But like, he was making an effort to come to the games. And then I was like, just go back after, you know, if you really need to work that much, just go back after. That, and like, it's an hour. Especially when they are younger, it's barely an hour. But you need to be, it makes such a difference. And it makes a difference in your life too as a parent, not just the kid, it's you too.
No, I can relate, like when I did sports, like my parents did not come to the games, my grandpa would. And I remember like that, and I can, like, as a kid, you know, small kid. Like, I remember him being there, and it's very valuable to the person.
Yes, definitely.
And you appreciate it.
If you're on your phone and you don't pay attention, your kid, you know, and sometimes they are like, oh, they're just little. No, they remember things very young. It's shocking. Sometimes things they're gonna say to you, and you're like, you cannot remember that. You know, how does he remember that? He was 3 or 4. So it's, you know, I think we have to be careful because it's something too that everybody has in their hands now. So it's like very easy to forget that, okay, I need to pay attention, it's my child's time.
And to be present in general.
To be present.
To just be present in the moment you are in, you know, and to be mindful of where you are and when you are. Because that's, I mean, we're not judging anybody here. No. I mean, we can all relate to it because we're all in the same boat, and we all do the same mistakes, if you want to call them like that. But it's in general, that's what I'm telling myself more and more often, is just to be present and mindful of the moment. And
I like the
and the phone is just something that distracts you, for sure.
But you know why CrossFit is so good for that? That's what people like it. It's because they are here for an hour, and that's the only thing they think about.
That's what I was about to say. Like,
it's really like a big thing. Of my husband, he always says it. Like, it's the
Chantal,
only time.
Seriously, how do you post your stuff on Instagram then? Are you never filming yourself for Instagram?
It's you know, for me it's always like I think I've never posted something that I'm actually doing a workout, or it was something from a challenge that we did here before. But I don't bring it with me, and that's a good thing too. You know, don't put your phone beside you unless, like I always say, my husband sometimes he needs to be 24/7, and I always tell him, you know, he's looking, and I'm like, Stéphane, if they really want to talk to you, they're gonna find a way to reach you. Trust me, and it's true. If somebody really want to talk to you because it's a super emergency, they're gonna find you. you know, so you don't need to have it in your hands. And
I agree. I mean, even today or nowadays, the fact that there's all these ways of contacting people, emails, WhatsApp, Messenger, messages, and calling
Yes.
people, it's even crazy that even at my work, everything goes by emails nowadays.
Yeah.
And you're supposed to have seen your email, even if it's important just for the day after. But you're just supposed to have seen all your emails. So even if you have a day where you say, I don't want to look at my phone,
yeah,
then you don't get the important information that you might need for the day after. And that's
Yeah.
something that's really annoying.
yeah.
That you're supposed to check these emails all the time. you
People
know?
are expecting
Exactly.
answers right
Yeah,
away,
yeah.
and everything needs to be done very
Yeah.
quickly. Somebody was telling me that when you post something, more and more, it needs to be, if it's longer than 8 seconds, people are reading
Oh,
like long text, they're gonna
Yeah.
flip. The people don't read
The
anymore.
attention span is 8 seconds.
8 seconds.
Shit.
Yeah.
That's very short.
I think it's only. I think for a lot of people, it's shorter than that.
Yeah.
Could be. Could
Yeah.
be.
But we could go on and on and on with these topics.
Yeah,
I mean, there's stuff
definitely.
coming up.
Definitely.
Oh, it's good.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Since you said you did level 1
Yes.
and you said you're a personal trainer.
Yeah.
You told me you were personal training swimming lessons, or can you?
I'm a personal trainer.
Okay.
It's American Council of Exercise. Like I did all my certification when we were in Cayman Islands, so it's all American oriented. And I did that in 2012, I think. I switched career completely. I was working in banking, hedge funds, like everybody almost in those islands. And then I was 1.2 in the same house, doing two crazy jobs with a child, wasn't working.
Yeah.
So I had the chance to quit the first one. My husband is
Like, I'm outta
regretting it
here.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said, that's it for me.
Yeah.
He was like, what? One morning I said, that's it.
Yeah.
And then I didn't know what to do. And because I was always in sports, even there, I was helping the kids, training and everything. So I said, okay, let's study in sports. This is what I really like to do. I should have done all my life.
Yeah.
But when I was young, it was like PE teacher or nothing.
Yeah.
So I said, I don't want to be a PE teacher. So I did nothing. And so this and the lady I was working with at one point in Cayman Islands, in Cayman Island, everybody has pool.
Okay.
So like it's
Let's move there.
yeah, it's like most of the time it's not it's like let's say where we were living, it was a complex,
Yeah. And the complex has a
the complex
shared
has a
pool.
pool because it's
Yeah.
like Caribbean,
Yeah.
so everybody has a pool. And she was teaching swimming lessons, and at one point she was stuck, and she said, "You don't have your certification?" I said, "No, but I was a swimmer." She said, "Come and help me," and then she said, "You should do it." And
Yeah, perfect.
so I had a personal trainer, and I have also a swimming instructor
Okay.
at the beginner level. And here in Luxembourg, I got the permission to teach. It's a little bit more tricky. Personal trainer, no problem. I have my paper. Everything has been accepted. But then when I got to swimming, I can only teach children and beginners. And even right now, like I'm trying to find how to do it properly because it's the pool access that is difficult.
Yeah.
Because most of the pool do have their maître nageur. They do teach swimming.
They're sorry. What?
Their maître nageur. So
Which
how
is
do you
like,
I don't know how you
the-
translate that.
The Baywatch kind of
Yeah,
guy
kind of
in the
safeguard,
pool.
like the lifeguard,
Yeah,
but the lifeguard that are teaching swimming
Yes,
too,
exactly.
because it's not
okay.
just lifeguard; they
Right.
teach swimming, and because every pool have their like people.
Protocols and
Yes, and so like I did try because I received the permission from the sports minister. So I
Yeah.
said, okay, I'm good to go. I had a few people approach me to teach their children,
Yeah.
so I started to teach everything. And then one day at a pool, the guy came to see me and he said, "It's the third time I see you here this week." And I'm like, "Yeah." I paid. I didn't do
Yeah.
anything wrong. And he said, "Are you teaching?" I said, "It's my French child." He said, "You're not allowed to do that." So anyway, to make a long story short, now I'm trying to find my way how to teach
I understand.
in Luxembourg without, most of them I did ask permission and it was rejected because they say they have their own,
Have you tried applying in swimming clubs themselves?
because I don't want to teach like right now I'm actually meeting someone later today that has she's a Luxembourgish lady that teach swimming since 20 something years. It's Swim and Smile. Maybe or it's Smile and Swim. I don't remember which way. She's actually teaching babies and parents.
Oh,
And like the beginning, like when the kids just to be comfortable in the water and everything.
Yeah. Where is that, in Mersch?
She goes to different pool around Luxembourg.
Might be the lady that my daughter actually.
Maybe.
Who knows?
Maybe. So anyway, like because I think she's gonna try to help me to find because I want to do it properly. I felt so bad being kicked out of the pool. I was really kicked out. The guy said, I never want to see you here again.
Oh, really?
I felt like, when you try to do everything properly.
You did something really bad.
Oh my God, I felt like so bad. I was going home and I got home, called my husband. I was like, I got kicked out of the pool. And it's sad because in a way, like I don't even take spaces. It's with one child. And, I have all my insurance. I did everything the right way. And I even have the permission from the government to teach. But it's just the government is here. The people taking care of the pools are there. So it's just, and I do personal trainer in house most of the time. I go to people's houses. Okay. I have a few clients, not that many, but it's starting. I'm going to have a website soon.
Cool.
Nice.
Yeah, it's going to be my name, Chantal Ayotte, ChantalAyotte.com soon. Plug it in.
That's good. And there you want to focus on just swimming or also like personal training?
I really, really like the personal trainer. That's why I'm asking you, to help you guys, because I really feel after all those years that I've taught and what I'm learning with American Council of Exercise is so complicated compared to CrossFit, and the results in CrossFit are so much bigger, faster, fun. For me, it's like, this is how I want to teach. So like even by going at a person's house that they are limited because they are just starting back. This is my idea. Most of the clients I'm looking at, my niche is like 45 plus, especially people that haven't moved in many, many years. And so I want to, implement CrossFit into that, because I think it's like, it's for me, it's a revelation. It's like something unbelievable that can help people stay independent. It's my thing.
I guess it's not necessarily implementing CrossFit by the name, but more like the functional movement side of CrossFit. Which actually, especially for older people, it might be a good thing.
It is. It is.
Well, might
like
be.
Eventually, like if I could bring people to train here that would register for CrossFit, it would be mission accomplished for me. Like it's giving the idea of what it is and to show them just like for me, it's to say to keep their independence. I see more and more people around me, like I have friends, a lot of younger friends, but a lot of older friends too. And every time I go in Canada to see my friends and family, I'm like, oh my God, like, and I've tried to, it's difficult, to make people understand, if you stop moving, it's not because you're getting old, it's because you're stopping moving. Like they think, like I had a friend and that's what he was, it's normal, I'm getting older. No. Like people take it as a normal thing. Like, it's normal, my legs hurt, I cannot walk that well. It's not normal. It's just because you don't maintain your old body.
I think people don't realize how bad it can be when you stop moving completely.
It's and I really seriously, I see it with my friends. There's some that are aging, unfortunately, not the good way. And they think they are afraid to move because they think it's gonna hurt more, but it's the opposite. And like I didn't have many things, but like I had a finger that was trying to trick me since a couple of years. I guess it's like whatever they call it, the old people thing.
Yeah, I tried this.
Yes.
Oh yeah, okay.
You know, and since I've been doing CrossFit, it's gone.
Really?
It's gone. Like I've never had pain in my finger it was never I was not in a point it was major or like some people, I think it's kind of cramping, it's not moving, but I was not there. But I had pain in one finger, it was bugging me. And since I've been doing CrossFit, it's gone. And the food too, maybe, you know, like that sometimes we only think it's the sports, but like maybe the balance of both.
It's the mentality.
It's the whole package. It's the whole package.
But the thing is, talking about that, I often, well, not often, but I sometimes ask myself the question about our facility here of how prepared we would be for, like, for instance, adaptive athletes if we really had some handicapped people. Because often you see on CrossFit.com and you see all this Instagram and Facebook stuff with people in wheelchairs doing CrossFit and all these kind of things, or in that sense really really old people like 80-year-old, 90-year-olds,
overweight,
they're just overweight. How prepared are we as a box, how prepared are we as coaches to actually be able to implement this in our normal classes? That's the question I ask myself a lot, even for me myself as a coach. If there's somebody coming in my class,
limb missing,
I don't feel prepared for it. I don't feel like I have the experience for it or the formation for it, and it's just a question I ask you for how you see it.
Yeah, I think it comes down to, obviously, I think we have the facility for it. It's more I think we have a lack of maybe experience as the coaches in that field.
Yeah.
I mean, it would obviously have to be a lot of improvising if you haven't done it before, and just applying. The thing is, if you know the method you're teaching very well, then you should be able to apply it to different levels, no matter the level. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, I'm sure we would find a way around.
Yes.
But for now, it's just like
it would be like inside a stress, you know.
Of course, we've had or I personally have coached people that are maybe just completely limited in one area just due to short-term injury or a permanent injury or whatever, and you try to work around it, and then you learn that around that person stuff like this.
Learning by doing.
Yes, but at the same time you need to, I think it's definitely an area you could learn a lot more in as coaches.
I want to do the master certification, and I've looked, there's one in August, I think in Italy, Milan, but it's another
it's interesting.
It's and it's funny because when we were talking about Drake, we were having a conversation. Of course, we were one of the oldest people in the room, and that's what he says. He says a lot of the box owner that were there at the beginning, they are getting older with their crowd, and they are thinking their box a different way. Like he took the master certificate because he says, and the guy we went in Canada, it was the Open, so we went to one of the box in Quebec. And the guy was telling me the exact same thing too. Like he says, at the beginning when we started, it was like full elite athletes and everything. He says, now I'm early 40. My body's changing. My vision is different too. I want to now, the crowd that I want to bring in is a little bit different than the crowd that I wanted to bring 10 years before.
Yeah, and CrossFit, as we say, grows and more and people know about it, and it sells itself as being adaptive for everybody. So the older your box gets, the more people you might be getting in your region that are also from another age category in that sense.
And the actual population is aging. So it's like when you get to that level, you're touching a big pool of people. It's just that it's how to bring them, and this is my challenge since a couple of months. How do you make people realize that it's important for them? Even myself, I have a lot of I thought, okay, like with my age it's going to be kind of an easy access, but like people say, oh, it's normal, you're a personal trainer. No, it's because I do stuff. I'm not just like this because it goes with the word, it's not because you're a teacher that you're a super good teacher. You need to learn all the time. You need to get the experience, and so it's to find a way to reach those people. And this is like, seriously, when I go to the store now and everything, when I look at the people, I can see like CrossFit has, sometimes you think that they are emphasizing it, but it's true. There's an emergency. How people are getting, even here, like we moved here 10 years ago for the first time, and I was a big person in European standard. And now when I go in a shop, there's like a lot of people that are bigger than me. So that's only in 10 years. So it's very scary what's going to be in the next 10 years if people are not,
I agree.
Here, do you notice that with kids? Like, because you teach or teenagers?
Yes, you do notice. It's not as extreme as in the States, but that's what I wanted to say. Here in Europe, we always tend to say like, yeah, but that's in the States, like the whole meat industry and stuff like, that's in the States. It's in the States where it's crazy. But the truth is that yes, it's in the States, but it's also coming here, and it's starting, as you say, and you can see it in children, definitely, for sure. And that's something, I wanted to add to the same thing we were talking about, the facility here. I mean, we just started to have this, we have a teens class that's now starting on Tuesdays, right, at 4 p.m.
Yeah.
So we're starting to implement this teens class to make it more interesting for teens, because like when I started to be a coach here, I also had this thought, since I'm a teacher, of how could you get like the teens in my school to actually do this, because I had one asking me, but for them it's really something far away, because they can do the youngsters, they can do sports for free in any kind of club, whatever they do. Here they have to pay membership, blah blah blah, and it wasn't really adapted for teens.
Okay.
I mean, we have some in our classes which are really good and they can adapt to it, but most of them, they need something else. And I think that's really cool that we propose this now here in the box. And at the same level, should one perhaps implement at some point a master's group and which actually allows to make some publicity for the box and say, okay, we have this and we can welcome you here and help you out.
It's for everybody.
It's for really everybody,
Yeah. It's like, it's really something that I would really want to bring, because I really feel, like I said, I really feel the urgency now, and it's like, it's not only the gain weight, it's the mobility, it's everything in your life. You can, like, sometimes you see people there can barely come out of their car. So it's like, and they are not that old, it's like, so how are you, getting older is one thing. Yes, the medicine did like extremely unbelievable things to keep people alive, but at what price? If like I said, like for me, the light bulb to come to CrossFit was see my uncle doing nothing. So medicine did great thing, like he was alive, but did he want it to be alive? And maybe he was not even able to say it.
Does the TV keep you alive? That's the question.
Exactly. That's strong.
It's functional fitness on another level.
Yeah.
All right, we'll end with the last question. Where's Chantal in 5 years?
Where?
Or what's she doing?
Oh my gosh.
Are you
still doing CrossFit?
Do you have your...
I hope so.
Do you have your website all built out?
Maybe, yes. And coaching, masters, and like I'm really into it. I wanna make a difference. I wanna make people of my age and older realize that you could change, the way you live by being physically active and eating properly. It's not like you don't need to run 2 hours every day, or like you were saying earlier, the AMRAP is a marvelous thing because you focus on this, but you see people running on treadmills, reading a book or watching TV. That means you're not focusing on what you're doing. So it's like, I would really like to bring that awareness, people my age, because that's what sometimes I see here. I forget, when I train with you guys, everybody around me are like 10 years and 20 years younger than me, and I get frustrated sometimes when I cannot do things, and then I have to stop and think, okay, if I go outside and ask the people, pick up 5 people and to see how they would do. Okay.
And still you're training though with these people.
Yes.
In what other sport can you say this?
No.
So
it's
awesome.
like no others. That's what someone was asking me earlier last week. Master athlete here was asking me, that sometimes he found it difficult because there's it's all young people. So especially when you have team workout, it gets tricky, you know.
Yeah.
But I was saying, yes, that I approve that. But the other side of it, for me, it's like, it's nice to be surrounded by younger people because it's like, I like that. Yeah. I've always had younger friends and older friends. And I guess
it's one community.
It is.
It's not masters community and athletes community and teens community.
And it keeps you young. It keeps you young as of like, at every level, you know? So, but yes, I understand sometimes it could be, or let's say master that don't have the mobility that me and that gentleman have. So for them, it could be a little bit tricky to come to a regular class. Yeah. But in general, it keeps you young too. You know, that's what good. I like.
There's a lot of energy in this podcast. I like it. Yeah, it's awesome.
Very alive.
Thank you for coming.
I'm older but alive.
Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Pleasure. It's a pleasure.
Absolutely.
Yes.
It was fun.
It was good.
Nice.
Yeah. Cool.
Right. I can talk forever, you know.
Yeah, us too.